Okay, ready for this? So, your joy does not depend upon other people. Light bulb moment. The myth. The people around us are responsible for our happiness. This is a misconception. It's really rooted in childhood and transmitted throughout the growth process. So, as children, it's our parents and our guardians' sole responsibility to ensure our happiness. The adults take on the role of requiring presents for every birthday and every Christmas holiday. They get us our favorite ice cream and make our favorite dish and, every other possible thing, right, that they do for us. During the early stages of development, our joy is in their hands and we have a little control over it. Hence the tantrums we get to throw when things don't go our way. As we grow older, responsibility for our happiness is transferred to our friends and love interests. We learn to communicate our sources of joy based on what we discover in ourselves as time progresses, and we make our expectations known. It's only then that reality rears its head, and we gradually realize that other people may not always be able to provide us with the things that make us happy. Throwing tantrums does not work either anymore. During this transition to adulthood, it is important that we stop placing the delicacy of our joy into other people's hands. It is then that we should accept that our joy cannot always be dependent upon other people and really never should be. Why you should not be over dependent on others to find joy. The people that come into our lives should all play a role in ensuring that we are happy, ideally seeking mutual satisfaction, right? And going out of our way to make sure each other are happy is a sensible foundation of any meaningful relationship. However, because humanity is flawed, we open ourselves up to a life of recurring disappointment if we put, the whole entire experience of true joy in the hands of people rather than ourselves. The adage, happiness is a state of mind, shows that the source of true happiness is a moral, internal, and personal than it is external. This means we have to be at the forefront of the pursuit of our own joy. We will find happiness in things around us, such as our jobs, acquisitions, and so on. We should realize that people are not objects meant to fill some void that we have. It should not be the job of them to make us happy, as they probably have their own happiness to worry about themselves. Certainly, we should not be a burden to those we love with giving them the responsibility of our happiness. Instead, we should enforce our joy and be proactive in ensuring that we are truly happy as individuals before we take on the shared role of making other people happy. And this approach to finding pure happiness protects us from disappointment when other people get too caught up with their own busyness of their own lives to provide us with whatever makes us happy. It helps us develop better relationships where all parties are involved are intrinsically happy and self-satisfied enough not to be needy. It eliminates the possibility of resentment and bitterness when our counterparts fail to prioritize our happiness for any reason, no matter how justifiable. So instead of allowing others to hold our joy at ransom, we need to take back that power and responsibility into our own lives for happiness. And so remember, joy is something that we can, if it comes from within, if we really understand joy, we can actually tap into it at any moment. And in the coming days, and on my joy playlist, you will actually see a lot more where I'm going to dive into this. But I want to go ahead and talk a little bit more today about really how we can find this joy. So this is kind of a summary, a brief overview of really getting joy, but I'm going to get a lot more in depth in the days to come, because I think so many of us really do place our joy upon other people and our happiness, and we can't do that. And before I continue on with really unpacking this, my name is Jen Plykin, if we haven't met before, holistic empowerment coach, using a complete approach to take you from that place of stuck to authentic thriving, and not just through my personal training and my nutrition coaching and my life and transformation coaching, but educating you and giving you the tools and resources so you can live a fit life. And I'm reclaiming fit as a lifestyle, as a holistic lifestyle. We need to be fit in mind and body and heart and soul and spirit, and to truly thrive in this life. And so make sure you like, subscribe, follow if you haven't yet, and let's go ahead and continue. So let's talk about how to kind of wean ourselves from complete dependence on others as a source of joy. The best way to discover how to be joyful outside of associations with other people is to get to know yourself. Self-discovery is underrated. This is actually the best way to get to know what truly makes you happy without other people projecting their sources of joy onto you. So it entails spending time with yourself without distractions from the usual things that split our focus. It requires an internal search of past and present moments where you have recorded a feeling of contentment and happiness, and knowing what to do to bring those moments back. While you may not be able to reenact the exact moments, you can feel what transpired and make modifications to recapture that feeling. Our mind really doesn't know the difference between what we're recreating and what we've actually experienced. And so at the end of the day, we should not give power to other people for our happiness, that we can, if they're absent, and then we can't have joy. We should strive to create scenarios where we choose to be happy even when we're on our own. And true happiness comes from within ourselves. What role other people play in that realization of happiness should merely be complementary. So happiness is a state of mind, a choice, a way of living. It's not something to be achieved. It's something to be experienced because it comes from the inside. And as Steve Marlborough has said that. And I know this firsthand because I was in our relationships. I needed people in my life. Like, I was not someone who ever thought that I could handle being alone and being happy. And so 2.5 years ago, I took 2 years of no dating. I thought I was going to die because I had never done that before. And it was the best thing I ever did for myself because now I'm okay. Like, I am fine being with myself. And I found true happiness not based on what other people think or say, not based on any of that, done external things, not based on really anything, but just because I found it within myself. Like, it lives within inside me. And so I encourage you to start that internal reflection. And today, if there's one thing I can encourage you to do is find those moments in your life where you've had joy. So if you need to tap into it, you can actually go back and can relive that moment. And if your mind will take us there, and we'll be able to feel that joy and overtake us. And then go ahead and make sure you like, subscribe, follow, so you see the other videos that I'm going to do about joy and happiness, and follow the playlist on joy and happiness. And then you'll get the tools that you truly need to really find this joy and this happiness that is void of comparison with others, or void of being needy of others. As we all need love and acceptance, like, that's a need in our lives, but we can't allow whether people give us that to actually determine whether or not we're happy and content. Because there's many times in lives maybe we don't have that at all, or when life is really hard and it doesn't make sense. And if we can't find that joy and the happiness, that's when, if you're someone who normally doesn't deal with depression, that's when your depression will set in. You have that situational depression, and it can be an ugly thing that grasps a hold of you. And so I've been there before, and so I want to help you with those tools to not go there if you're there, to help you get out of it, to help you really experience life in a full way, life that was meant to be, in a life where you really know who you are, and because you're worth it. No one has ever told you that. Know this. Hear me say it loud and clear. You have value and you are worth it. You are worth living this life, and you have a purpose and a reason to be here, and you're needed and wanted. Don't allow opinions of others and what people have said about you to define you. Take it back into your own hands. You define you. I define me now, not others. There's power in that. All right, tribe. Said, like, subscribe, follow. If you're ready for a 180 in your life to make that change, in the show notes is always my email address. Please reach out to me directly so I could directly respond to you. And let's chat, because there's hope for you, my friend. All right, be brave, be kind, live authentically, and always shine. Remember, you're just one habit away. Maybe that habit is realizing that joy is in your power and reflecting upon times in your life when you have experienced joy, so you can tap back into that. Thanks for watching. Share this with someone else who needs to know how to have joy from within and rather than external circumstances. All right, until next time, tribe.